What is going on, guys, and welcome back. This is another This Is, and my name is Quasi Dog. This is round 2 of Chroma Squad, and the reason why I say it's round 2 is because I'm an idiot. I accidentally forgot to change my OBS settings, and I recorded a black screen for the entire 22-minute segment of my last recording. So, after a little bit of frustration, some cussing, some foot stomping, maybe a little bit of crying, I decided to jump in and record it also a second time to make sure that I had something to put out for you guys today, because I feel that, you know, maybe you guys don't know about this game, or maybe you don't know whether or not it's worth your time or investment, so we're going to learn that now. So as you can see, it is Chroma Squad, a tactical RPG inspired by Saiban's Power Rangers. This game is fucking awesome, first and foremost, and we're going to learn why in just a moment. We're going to go in, we're going to do a new game. I'm going to be skipping the tutorial because it's long as hell, and I will be providing you guys just a little bit of insight as to why I think this game is good and some gameplay to accompany it. So without further ado, we're going to skip the opening segments. I'm going to go into a new game, and I'll meet you guys in the game itself. Alright, so as you can see here, this is our new contract. So we're being contracted for $1,000 to produce a TV show. We're looking to record the season finale after recording 4 other episodes, so it's going to be 5 in total. And the contract will be cancelled if the number of fans is lower than 0. I don't know how we can have a -1 fan. Maybe that's haters? I don't know. We'll see what happens here. So we're going to sign our contract. And we're going to leave this stuff pretty basic. I'm going to leave it up to you guys and your playthroughs to name it whatever you want. But by default, the studio name will be Mighty Inc. And you can see we're going to have 5 Chroma Squad team members. Honestly, guys, we're just going to call them 5 Rangers. We're not going to tease ourselves. We're not going to kid ourselves. We know what these are. So, you're going to see that you can change your person for every single character. Each person has a different salary and a different set of attributes. So, taking a look, for example, at Evan Tyson, he's got -1 move, but 1 acrobatic range, and plus 30% attack. So, he's basically the big muscle when it comes to being able to fight. The Scout class here we have as May. So 20% extra counter, 30% enemy dodge, 30% counter. She's an expert in Muay Thai and kickboxing. Not only do you have some abilities to tinker with their individual stats, but some of these, for an example, and if I can find one here, drop rate is okay. There we go. So Von Andy, this guy reminds me of what Johnny Cage was portrayed as in Mortal Kombat. Not his fighting character, but his actor character. So as you can see, he's a pretty boy, and he's here just to raise your audience. So you get plus 15% audience per episode. So this isn't a stat that necessarily affects this one character with his attack or his ability to dodge. This is an overall experience buff for the whole team, because the audience and the viewership determines what sort of contracts you're going to get, whether or not you can even morph or use your chroma power, because you have to have so much audience to be able to initiate that. So that's pretty cool. We're going to jump in. Actually, let's just show you that you can change the color as well. Whatever. We're going to leave this pretty much as is, and we're going to jump in and see what's next. Alright, so here's an overview. Right now we are in our warehouse. This is the starting area that I think you're borrowing, I guess, from one of the character's uncles. So, first off, we're going to look at the shop very quickly. You can see there's 2 classes right now. There's going to be something for your body and your weapons. So, body, very quickly, we've got some boots, some gloves, some padded suits, and some comfy suits. So as an example, the padded suits give you a little bit of health and some regen, And then we look at the comfy suit, it's just straight up 40 health. These can all be purchased and equipped independently for all 5 people. We're gonna leave that for now. We've only got $1,000 to start with. You've got studio upgrades, so healthcare bonus, SD camera, a workbench, microphone, and shop partnership. And then I guess you've got 2 others, or 1 other, which is just a bigger studio. Now, as we look at these very quickly, you can see there's a cost for initial purchase and then a per episode cost thereafter. So an SD camera, it looks like it's going to give you plus 10% audience from director's instructions. So we're going to see what the director's instructions are in a moment, but it's basically missions within the episodes you're producing. And if you complete them, you usually get, let's say, 100 or 200 audience. So in this case, if you get 100 for completing the task on a normal basis, you're going to get 110 if you've bought the SD camera. So we're actually going to buy it. I think I'm going to buy a microphone as well, because this is audience gain from combat. We're going to see if this makes a difference at the end. And back we go. And then lastly, you have the actors. So with the actors, you just get a quick overview of their stats, an overview of their skills as they level up. Obviously, like any other RPG, they've got different things that you can buy into, and then you can manage their equipment as well. From what I've noticed, the leader always starts off with a weapon. You're going to see we do have a toy sword. I've done a personal playthrough of this game just very briefly within the first mission. I did the last recording that I fucked up on and didn't actually record properly, and then this Let's Play as well, or this is. Now, that being said, I've picked different characters every time, and the equipment has stayed the same. So I can tell you that the techie always starts with a gun, and the lead always starts with the sword. And back we go. So let's go right into record, and this is how you start your mission. I narrated fully the last one. I don't want to do that again. It took quite a while, and honestly, it's going to take away from how much game we can actually play. So I'm just going to skip ahead, essentially, of everything that, everything dialogue-wise, that brings us into the actual game. Now you can see here, this is the first episode we're recording, the pilot episode of your very own series. Today, Chroma Squad will deal with a new threat that appears near the science lab. So the maximum amount of audience you can get is 2,800 viewers, and the location is going to be this starting warehouse. I believe maybe you can change that if you've upgraded your studio, that I'm not 100% sure. Now the director's instructions, we touched base on that a little bit before. You can see here in part 1 we're recording, we need to do 3 team acrobatic moves. You learn that in the tutorial. I'll be showing you guys how to do that as we play through, and then keep the actors above 50% health. For part 2 of 2, defeat the boss with a finishing move and defeat all of the minions before attacking the boss. And let's get this rolling. Alright, so again guys, before we jump into this, I'm just going to fast forward through the dialogue. Feel free to pause it if you want, but honestly, I don't think it's going to show you too much about what the game is. That's more along the lines of the gameplay that I think you're concerned with. The narrative is funny, just not for me the third time I'm going through it, so bear with me here. Alright, so here's our first set of baddies. I don't know if they're like squirrel men or what the hell they are, but anyway, we're just gonna fight them. I mean, they're not as cool as putties, but... So, director's instructions, just once more reaffirming, we're going through and we're doing 3 team acrobatics and keeping all actors above 50%. So let's just start this off, and we'll see if we can kill this guy first. No, we didn't, wow. Now the boxing guy, he's going to move in 2 sets of turns, but he can't attack on a second turn, so we're going to leave him here. And I'll show you guys why on the next turn. We're going to send this guy up, and he's going to attack. I love how he runs. He's got like his arms flailing behind him. I believe this guy can move in 2 sets of turns, but he also can't attack on his second set. And she can take this guy out. And we got an item drop as well, some duct tape. Alright, so on our turn, you're going to see that we have chromatize, but you need to be at least 200 viewers to be able to chromatize or to morph. You can see here's our maximum 2800, and right now we're at 114. That's basically just experience, though. You're going to see that go up as you get kills and as you do different things. Now, I'm going to pick this guy, and I'm going to do teamwork. Now, with teamwork, it's basically just a buff for your characters, but you can see now that I've teamed up, and we're on a different character, her move radius just got a lot better. And this is going to be the acrobatics we need to do. We need to do 3 of them on the first part of the playthrough. So I honestly don't even care where I'm sending these people. At the end of the day, I just need to do 3. And I can do another one the next round. We're going to thin some of these guys out because, again, we want to make sure we're maintaining that 50% health. And I can't do that if we're just letting the characters run wild and beat on us. Now, that last attack as well, you're going to see that 2 people attack, and it's because that other guy, this guy here, I didn't want to refer to him necessarily as the black guy, but Mike, he was still in team-up mode. So because of that, he gave a buff to whoever was standing next to him, performing the attack. So we're going to team up again. We're going to switch to this guy, and he is just going to flip over here. Again, I don't care where I place him. You can see we just got 200 audience points because we chose to move him. And we'll just move him here, and we'll take this girl, and we'll take this guy out. Alright, there you go. So we performed both director's instructions. We're going to skip through all of this stuff, and we'll get to the second part of the episode in just a moment. Alright, so we're back with episode 2 now. The one thing that's kind of funny that I do want to highlight about this narrative is, unlike other games where I guess it's all about the game experience and it's all about the actual story. This is a story about telling stories, where other games are just the fiction or the one main experience. So with this example, you can see that the boss comes in and he's like, oh shit, am I late? Which I think is pretty cool. It just helps build a little bit of background as to how indie these guys are with their new TV series and their shoot location and what they're doing, which I think is awesome. I think it's a really cool little addition. Alright, so here come the extra baddies. And we're going to see the director's challenge pop up here in just a second. Our director's instructions. So defeat the boss with a finishing move and defeat all minions before the boss monster, before attacking the boss monster, sorry. So because right now we're at 1284 out of 2800, I think it's a good time to chromatize or morph. And that lights camera chromatize on the bottom. That is something you can change. Okay, so the movement already, the radius got a lot bigger. We're just going to thin some of these guys out because we want to make sure that we're killing all of these guys before we go after Boxing Box, because that is one of the challenges. I also just realized that I have 2 black suits. There we go. Their turn, they're basically just going to be able to move a little bit closer. I think that one should have been the only one that can attack, but we'll find out in a second. Oh, no, 2, I guess. Hey, you ripped my costume, motherfucker. Alright, so I do want to switch to the pink one first, because I know... Actually, no. Shit, I cheated. Okay, this one. So, I'm going to move her right in the middle, and I'm going to use her power. And this is stun pose. This is just going to make sure that I render these guys useless or stunned or whatever you want to call it for their next turn, which is just going to help me manage these guys down here a little bit. And... oh, I can't use that yet. I want to show you guys some of the skills. So this is your sword. This is just a big monster attack. That's going to do 103 damage. Let's see if I can thin some of these guys out as well. And I'm assuming that there's like damage over time and stuff like that when you start getting into more of the attacks and the abilities. For now, I just have a light assortment of what I can do. Can she... Yeah, she can go attack him. So next turn, we should be ready to start... Oh, he can attack when he's stunned. Maybe he just can't move. Interesting. Alright, so we're going to start moving these guys. So we did the Director's Challenge, so we got 600 more audience, and that was just making sure we thinned out all of the other bad guys before we started attacking the boss. I don't know if you lose if you accidentally attack the boss, like if it's from the first hit, or if it's just defeating the boss before you actually defeat all of the bad guys. Alright, so we need to do a finisher. So what we do is we just build everybody's teamwork up. Fuck, and I don't think we're going to be able to do it this time. No, we're not. So we're just going to teamwork them up anyway. We'll move them into position. She can go back here and teamwork. Alright, so teamwork. 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 I'm leaving the lead to the end. You don't need to, it's just, that's typical TV fashion. I want to be doing this right. So if you teamwork 4 and then attack with the 5th, you're gonna do your superpower. And this should take this guy out, and it does. So we got both of our director's instructions completed. And he's gonna poof, vanish. And they're gonna have their banter back and forth about a bunch of useless shit. Okay, so you can see all of the materials that we got. So 4 duct tape, 3 Kalnins, Play-Doh at the end. Now the audience itself is at 2637, so the first playthrough I shit the bed because I didn't know what I was doing. I forgot to do the acrobatics. That was my personal playthrough. With that one, I didn't do as well. I think I hit like 22 and change. My last playthrough that I forgot to record, or I guess I tried to record but hit the record button and didn't set up OBS properly, I got like 24. So this time I got 2637, and I wanted to add the camera at the start to see if it made a difference, and it did. So the 2800 is the maximum cutoff, so the maximum amount of audience that you can possibly have. Obviously, just completing the instructions will not give you max, because if it did, then there's no benefit to you getting characters like the Vaughn, whatever the fuck his name is, the guy that I picked, that has the 10% audience buff, as well as using things like the microphone, which gave me the 10% buff for the boss battle, or for the director's instructions, I guess is what it was. So we're going to continue here. This is going to be the overall end. We can see 79 fans, which again, I got about 63 on my last playthrough, so it looks like this is very dependent on what you pick and what you have stats-wise. $547. So we spent a little bit at the start on the camera, but I think it paid off in the end. And save. So now we have the crafting that opened up, and basically with this you can utilize the materials that you got earlier, so the cotton and the duct tape and stuff like that, and you can just add enhancements to all of your equipment. So this will give it plus 12 health and 1 random property. So let's just craft it up. This is just a quick playthrough anyway, so it doesn't really matter what I get. So 12 health, and then the random property was plus 6% dodge. So that's pretty cool. So we'll keep that, and we'll back out here. All of this stuff is all the same, and we got a letter. So the letter here is a fan message, and it reads, "What's up, Chroma Squad? If I were to join your team, could I pick my own color?" And we're gonna reply with any color. And this guy writes back, "Oh, I want to join right now." So that about wraps it up, guys. You got to take a look at the first episode to get an overall overview of the general experience of the game. I hope it helped maybe reaffirm whether or not the game is right for you. I know it's right for me, but I mean, honestly, we're different people. The world probably wouldn't be a good place if it was all me. Wouldn't be bad, but I don't know. I'm just not gonna set myself on that pedestal. But anyway, we're gonna leave it at that for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you run out and get this game. I got this game on GOG just because it was DRM free. I would assume you can probably get it on Steam as well, but I like GOG. I find the price is very, very good, and they had a sale going on as well. So if you liked the video, please give it a like. Please sub to the channel for more future content. And leave a comment on what you thought about the game, and also what your favorite Power Ranger was and why. You better pick the pink one. So until the next one, guys, this is Chroma Squad. Alright, so your goal here is to essentially move every limb, as you can see here, and walk your character and just basically stack them, so a reversed barrel of monkeys, if you will. So, man, I love this game. I've played it very briefly. Yeah, landed there. And I